Hey, this is Nathan Reeton-Spruth here, finally bringing you the final episode of this little review series I've been doing of the NES wrestling games, starting with Pro Wrestling a few weeks ago, and now moving on to WCW World Championship Wrestling. Watch the review and I'll show you that you'll hear my opinion on that naming scheme. So I've been really busy the last few weeks, that's why I haven't put out this video for, I think it's about 3 or 4 weeks late. So I am now going to do it, and you will hopefully like it, and going from there, watch, I actually got a couple new things here. Obviously, you can see the camera situation is a little different. You can see my He-Man Woman Haters poster thing that my friend made me for Christmas. And I will probably not be doing a weekly video, like a weekly review video. I will still try to put out a video every week. It will probably be a Let's Play, more likely than not. Reviews will be a little more limited, so probably once a month I'll do a review instead of 9 in a row, which is what I've done recently. I did 8 really well every week, and then the last few weeks I just messed up. So I don't want to take up too much of your time doing this. I want you to get to the review, so here goes. WCW World Championship Wrestling is a terrible name for a video game. Let me get this out of the way first. It was called WCW World Championship Wrestling, otherwise known as World Championship Wrestling, World Championship Wrestling. They just repeat it. This is worse than when you go to the DMV and they ask you for your VIN number. VIN stands for Vehicle Identification Number, so you are saying Vehicle Identification Number. In any case, WCW was released in 1990 by Mitsubishi, it's right there on the screen, you'll see it, and was published by FCI Incorporated. It was basically a ported game. Actually, basically isn't the word. It was a ported game. It was originally Superstar Pro Wrestling in Japan, which is a far better name than the one given to the version released in the United States. No, I won't get over it. In the game, you can see all the wrestlers with their moves listed. However, I am going to forego doing that in order to make this review go a little bit more smoothly. I will say which wrestlers are in the game, though. Ric Flair, Sting, Lex Luger, Mike Rotunda, also known as IRS. He is the father of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas. Road Warrior Hawk and Animal, Dr. Death Steve Williams, Kevin Sullivan, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Rick Steiner, but no Scott Steiner, Eddie Gilbert, and Michael P.S. Hayes. When you select your wrestler, you do get to choose from a list of moves, which adds a degree of customization. Basically, these affect what grapples you have in the game. The gameplay is a little weird, though. You can kick with A and punch with B, which is pretty standard. When you punch or kick your opponent 3 times, you are then able to go towards them and perform a grapple. If you press B left or B right, you will Irish whip the opponent into that direction. If you press A in any direction, you will be able to perform one of your grapples. After you choose the move, a little box will appear that will basically be a strength indicator. You want that as high as possible to be able to do as much damage as possible. There's also a finishing move that is special to each character. Like Ric Flair uses the jumping neck breaker drop, which of course is not his actual finisher. I was confused by this until I found out that this is a port of another game. So in the Japanese version, they had the original wrestler doing the jumping neck breaker drop, and in this version they made Ric Flair have that same move, even though that's not his actual finisher, which of course is the figure 4 leg lock. There is one wrestler in the game that I did not mention earlier, and that is his name is WCW Master. He is a special boss of the game and is the hardest opponent. Because I wasn't actually good enough to get to the boss, because I really couldn't do that, there is a code that you can use to play as the boss. So basically, it's not supposed to be a playable character, but because I'm doing it this way, he is a playable character. And it's super glitchy. As you can see on the screen, you can't really tell who it is. Thankfully, I did get to capture a few frames where he was not so glitchy, and it proves that WCW Master is actually Andre the Giant, which is awesome because Andre the Giant kicks ass. And he's great in this game as well. When you play as him, even though it is super glitchy, he is pretty much unbeatable. I would hate to actually face him in the game because I couldn't even win a single match, much less one against the biggest icon in wrestling history. All in all, this game is pretty mediocre. I like it a little bit just because it is WCW and different from the WWF games that we got. However, it's just not that great. It does have a wide range of characters, and it adds a bit of customization because it allows you to pick your moves for the different wrestlers as you play as them. However, the controls are stiff, the graphics are not very great. It also really suffers from being a port of a Japanese game. The wrestlers don't have the proper finishers, and the gameplay has a huge difficulty curve. Basically, the AI is just unfair. I would say stay away from this game and play the game that came out 3 years earlier, Pro Wrestling for the NES. Best game, I said it in every one of my reviews, play Pro Wrestling, it's great. Please feel free to press on that big sexy subscribe button. Also, if you look to the left, there's my Pro Wrestling review, which I have hoarded in every single video I've done. And then on the right, you'll see my Final Fantasy XI review, which is my most viewed video of recent memory. So, thank you for this, and I will continue to make videos, maybe not once a week, but I will make them.